Yo, what's going on, man? This is your boy Super Mario. You're in the Yo with your boy, man. Today, what we're going to be talking about is Izotope Ozone 10 Advanced and checking out some of the new features that are implemented in this particular plugin. Now, if you're not familiar with what Izotope Ozone is, what it do, how it works, and everything like that, just picture it as a all-in-one solution for your mastering needs for your audio productions or whatnot. You're getting AI technology built into this plugin, and it can actually do the job for you, so to speak, do the job for you by hitting the button, and it does what it does and gives you kind of like a starting point to do your mastering. Is really cool, and it's a step into the future. Kind of scary, but hey, you know what I'm saying, it definitely gives you a starting point to get the sound that you're looking for or whatnot. Now, Ozone comes with a lot of different tools to get you that finished sound for your projects. So you will have to know what to do. It's not a one-click button and you're done type of situation. You're gonna have to understand, you know what I'm saying, what is giving you the processes of the Ozone and how everything works. Without further ado, man, we're gonna go ahead and slide into Ableton Live and check out some of these new features. All right, here we are in Ableton Live. You know what I'm saying, what we're gonna do now is pull up Ozone 10 Advanced, and as you can see, here it is right here. Now, this is the default settings and everything. I haven't did anything here in Ozone 10 Advanced. Okay, now just straight out the box, you know what I'm saying, there has been a slight GUI change to this new version of Ozone. Kind of give it more that the Neutron and Nectar looked to it. So I think Izotope is starting to, you know, switch their GUI look and everything like that. So that's basically, it gives me that impression of the Neutron and the Nectar look as well. Now you can see that just by default, it gives you an equalizer and a maximizer starting off to get you started. But what I normally like to do is just X those out. You know what I'm saying? The reason being is because you know, when you want to do the mastering assistant in the older version, which is 9 version, and this version now in 10, you will see that, you know, you can use the mastering assistant, which is a new AI technology that they implemented in Ozone 10. So the old one that they had in 9 has been improved in 10. Okay, and it basically telling you right here, you can use the assistant to create a curated starting point for basis for your audio. So this is just the starting point. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get that confused and they want to say, oh, this is the end all once they finish doing the AI situation or whatnot. No, it's a starting point. So some of the stuff that it suggests to you, you can kind of take it out and, you know what I'm saying, add your own processing to it or whatnot, man. So you could add your own processes just by simply picking these particular processors that you see right here and build your own specific, you know what I'm saying, mastering chain to build your own specific mastering chain. All right. But if you want to take the lazy route and use the mastering assistant, you will have to click on this button right here. Now it's telling you it's waiting for audio. There's no audio. We're gonna try to find the hook part of this song, the actual chorus part of the song, which is probably right here. That's it right there. All right, so what we're gonna do is go back to that starting point. We're gonna go here. It's waiting for audio. We're gonna hit play. It's doing this thing. And there it is right there, folks. All right, so this is the suggestion that it gives you right here. Now you can see that you have some suggestions right here. You got the tone match far as what it's doing. Now it picked the genre EDM. Now you know damn well this ain't EDM or whatnot, man. So what we want to do is use the tone matching in the hip hop rap form. All right, so this is kind of like a generic tone curvature of frequency from 20 to 20,000 hertz. Okay, this is generic. You don't have to go by this 100%, but this is what it's giving you for its tone match, width match, and also dynamic match as well. So if you want to optimize the dynamic match for let's say DJ playing or whatnot, or streaming, you could choose that. We're gonna just keep the streaming or whatnot. Now these are kind of like macro type of functions or whatever the case may be, but if you really want to get down and get to the nitty gritty, you'll have to go to this little section right here, which is where it'll show you all the processing in a detailed view. But just remember, this view right here is what the AI did, you know what I'm saying, for as tone matching, for stereo width, and also for as dynamics is concerned, for as the maximizer, the compression, the impact feature, which we're going to talk about here pretty soon. All right, so these are just quick controls that you can move around. You can do some EQ adjustment here, here, you know what I'm saying? And you can do some stabilizer situations as well, man. But we're going to go to the detailed view. This is it right here. So basically what it did was it gave us an EQ, a stabilizer, which is a new feature, impact, which is a new feature, imager has some new features, a dynamic EQ, which been in here for a while, and a maximizer, which has a new feature as well, man. So we're gonna kind of break down these new features and see what they're working with. All right, so here in the equalizer, you can see that it basically gave us a generic EQ. Y'all should go ahead and do your homework on the EQ. Go look at some other YouTube videos that really talk about the EQ. We're going to talk about the new features. Stabilizer. This is the one I really want to talk about when it comes to stabilizer and stuff like that. Now, this particular one is really, really unique. It's kind of like a advanced mastering EQ that's not a dynamic EQ. It takes the signal and makes adjustments far as what it's going to boost or what it's going to cut based off of an algorithm or whatnot. So what I'm meaning is right here on the hip hop, you could choose these different genres. You know what I'm saying? You could do all purpose, you know what I'm saying? If you're working with some general stuff, or if you're working with specific genres of music, you could choose that. That way the algorithm know, you know what I'm saying, how to put it in the tonal balance of the algorithm, or the AI, should I say, inside of this particular mastering EQ. So in this case, we're going to choose hip hop. Okay. Now, again, this is a mastering EQ based off of a generic curvature of a particular genre. Okay. Now you have an overall global amount at right now it's sitting at 50%. You have a speed far as how it's going to make tonal corrections, and also smoothing far as, you know what I'm saying, the response time of the adjustments on the curves or whatnot. And then, you know what I'm saying, it's broken down into three frequency bands: low, mid, and high. And you can make adjustments to those particular frequency bands as well, far as the amount is concerned. Now you have a tame transient section. So if you want to kind of, you know what I'm saying, do something to really tame the transients, you can engage that button right there as well. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and hit play right here just to see what the stabilizer is doing. All right, cool deal. So this snapshot is showing me that it's giving a little boost right here in this low end right here. We got a little dip right here in between 60 to about 200. Actually, about in between 1 to 300. We got a little dip right there. And you can see right here, we have some boosting and cutting anywhere between the high mid at about 1,000 all the way up to about, you could say 15,000 hertz or whatnot. Now, what we can do, we can make adjustments. So let's say, for instance, I want less highs far as what the high frequency is doing. I want less of that. We can make adjustments right here just on the high band right here. All right, so let's play around with this. So you see, and when I brought it down to 0, you had less activity happening here in the high frequency range. But when I brought it back up to 100, you can hear some of that harshness that you can hear in the hi-hats and stuff like that. And it was starting to be tamed. And the reason being because of the AI technology in here was basically ducking it. So it's almost like it's acting as a dynamic EQ that's actually, you know, saying fitting it in its generic tonal balance for the hip hop genre. All right. The mids really didn't have too much going on. Let's hit play again. Yeah, not too much going on in the mid section. The lows may have an effect. All right. So let's bring this down to 0% and see what's going on with the lows. All right, so you get more of a sub-low boost right here around about 40 to 50 hertz, and you get a little bit of low mid cut right there, and it kind of cleans up the bass, makes it more pronounced, but take out the muddiness as well. Now you can adjust the frequency response. You see how it's kind of moving smooth, but if we want it to move fast, let's bring that down to 0, and you can see what's going on here. And this little hump right here is giving me the response that I'm looking for. So we got it moving to the beat of the track. It was set by default at 50, but we brought it down to 38. All right, now the speed is basically how it's going to react to the different changes or whatnot. So let's take a look at that again. All right, so I made the speed, I brought the speed up a little bit at 57%. I wanted to be a little bit more slower, so I went from 50 to 57%, just to kind of even out that speed. I thought it was a little bit too fast, so now let's hit play. All right, and I brought in a little bit more amount, global amount on the stabilizer at 56. So I went from 50 to 56%, and it really kind of gave it a little bit more push as far as what my ears are hearing. Now that's shaping right there. You have most. What's basically going on is the EQ is making an adaptation to boost. This is right here. This button is going to make more of a cutting. So if you want some cutting situation going on, check this out. You notice that the frequency spectrum now is pushing everything down. You know what I'm saying? So the adaptive AI in this particular EQ plugin is basically doing dynamic EQing and pushing everything down for us, the frequencies that it's detecting that's causing the problem. But with shaping, basically you're going to get more of the enhancement or the boosting or whatnot. So that's what it did. We made very subtle adjustments. Notice that it wasn't anything drastic. We kind of kept everything within within a 10% change or whatnot. All right, cool. We're gonna move on and we're gonna check out another new feature, and that is the impact. Now this particular feature, it's a transient designer, but it's a multi-band transient designer. So it's kind of created to, you know what I'm saying, give you the effect of, you know what I'm saying, adding a little bit to your attacks per frequency range or whatnot. And what I always love with Ozone when they first introduced this this assisted technology or this learned technology back a few versions back is you can it'll detect the frequency ranges for you in a particular section, and you can make adjustments after that. So let's hit play and see what they gave us. So it looks like we're doing a lot of taming. We're bringing down some of those transients here. We got a little boost in the low frequency. The low mid and the high mid has a cut, and the highs have a cut. Now the envelope is basically, again, is going to be your adjustment for as the release time of the transient designer and what it's doing here. So they have it set at about 100 milliseconds. So let's see if we can make any changes to this. Let's bring that out of that right there. Whoa, you hear that? So when we had it at a higher envelope response time, the adjustment for, as you know, saying how this particular impact processor is working, you got more lows. That means you got more sustain out of, you know, each frequency band that you're affecting. You heard the lows get real aggressive there, but when we put it on the fast, that's basically in and out. It's gonna make its change. It's gonna boom, boom, boom type of situation right there. So we had it right there in the middle at about 100. Let's just see where our ears will put this at. All right. I like it right there at about 154 milliseconds. I wanted the lows to have that trunk, boom, boom, boom. You heard it? Now, when I put it back to 100, check this out. It's just a little bit short. It's not as long as I wanted to, so I'm gonna put it right there at about 154 milliseconds. There we go, right there. And you have a global dry wet mix knob. So this is no effect. And we're gonna make the adjustment now. For some reason, we have a lot of energy at 91%. That's crazy. We have a lot of energy at 91% versus 100%. So I'm going to keep it right there, man. So that is impact right there. So we're going to move on to the next feature. All right, so here we are in the imager right here. So basically, this is going to be a stereo tool, and it's going to help you, maximize the width of your stereo image on your particular sound source or your particular mix or whatnot. So they already have the frequency ranges, section off for us. You can always make a change by playing it in your favorite section, the loudest section in your particular mix or session. Hit learn, and it'll make the adjustments for you as well. This shit right here. This is what I mean by, AI technology. It's good, but you definitely don't want to say this is the end all, and you need to make changes to this. So what we're going to do is just take our low end and we're just going to put this at a negative value. So we're going to bring that down to negative 66. Okay. All right, so now what we'll be able to do is check out the recovery size. This is a new feature on the stereo imager as well, man. So this basically, you can recover your side information that's lost from anything, basically like your low mid, your high mid, that's going to be affected really and be useful with this new feature. Your highs a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. I'm going to turn everything off here. And we're going to work with this this low mid section. Now, let's say we got this section and we turn it down all the way at negative. Let's go negative 50. All right. All right. Now we have the recovery sides on. I'm going to go ahead and boost that from 3 dB to 12 dB of recovery. Check this out. Now let's bring that down to 0. Now we could turn down the recovery as well. So if we wanted mono, we can. You hear the drastic change? I'm gonna bring. All right, cool deal. So whenever you go negative, especially on your low mid, high mid, and highs, when you go negative on your stereo width, you can kind of make up for any side information that's basically kind of disappeared or dissipated when you brought down your width sliders or whatnot. That's only on the negative side. Your recovery sides won't work too much on the positive side or whatnot. So just kind of think of this as if you try to go mono on any of the frequency bands, far as going on the negative value on the width sliders, you can make it back up with recovery sides. That's basically what it is. Okay. All right. I will probably just worry about the recovery sides. If you have this in the negative and you have that in the negative, then you can use the recovery sides. But it's basically to recover back any side information. So especially if you're working in mid side, mastering or whatnot, it's to recover any side information, which is basically extreme left and right information, and recover that information if it's lost. So that's a new feature here in the stereo imager section right here. All right. Moving on to the next feature. All right, here we are in the last processing of this AI generated mastering chain, and we are on the maximizer section. And what they have added is soft clipping. All right, so it's basically soft clipping. It's kind of like, I like to say it's kind of like a distortion boost. It kind of gives you it kind of takes the mustard and it mixes up with the ketchup on your hamburger. You understand what I'm saying? That's a good analogy that I could come up with or whatnot. Sometimes if you have a hamburger and it only has mustard, it feels like it's missing another sauce. So you will mix it up with mustard and ketchup or mustard and mayonnaise or, mustard and everything else or whatnot. So basically what we are doing is basically adding a subtle boost with distortion. That's how I can best describe clipping. And you have 3 modes. You got a lot, a little, or subtle. And that's basically low, medium, and high. Soft clipping, but you can still bring it up to 100%. But right now, AI has detected it at 10%, and they're using just a little bit, okay? So let's check where we at with our gain reduction. So I got it measuring out at -6 at the most. That's too much. Look at this right here. No, that's too much. Let's bring it up a little bit. All right, so I like it right there, hitting around -3. Okay, now you look at my diagram. That's what I like, it was taking away a little bit of energy and also transients as well. Now, the soft clipping is already on. All right, let's bring this up a little bit of 10%. Let's not be scared of the soft clipping. Let's see what happens. Right there, 28%. That's where I found it at. Sometimes you have to let the track breathe a little bit because the way the signal coming in is hitting this mode, then it's hitting the gain reduction, going through the character, then it's either going through transient emphasis or clipping. I'm not exactly sure which one is hitting last or whatnot. But we had to let the track breathe, get some movement before we can actually make a final determination. So after hitting it hard at the highest mode that the clipper has and really boosting it up, it was a little bit too much. You can start hearing some things get real frill and it didn't have any breathing room. So we brought it back down on the lowest mode, and then we brought back down the percentage, and we have a median and it started to sound real good response and no distorted type of sound right there around 28%. So again, you could add or take away a certain amount of clipping, and then you can have more of how much distortion, saturation, clipping you want. High sounded real good, but not for this particular track. So it all depends on your production, what kind of music you have, and what kind of music that you're producing, and how it's going to sound with this clipper. These 2 factors, as far as the mode and how much clipping, is going to be your taste or whatnot, man. So, I think we made the proper adjustments for that. Let's take a listen one more time. It's very subtle. We hear a boost in the volume, but it's very subtle. And that's what mastering is really, really about, giving you a very subtle change, but a noticeable change, when you bypass each process or whatnot. Now, what we want to do is try to see if we can hear a difference in what the AI technology gave us versus what we was dealing with without ozone processing. So what we're going to do is engage the gain match button, and that's going to keep the gain at a certain level, and then we're going to bypass it. So that's going to bypass all the processing, and so we can hear a subtle difference in the mix itself. All right. So let's hear it now with gain match on. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and bypass it in 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so you can hear the mix got definitely is more clarity in the high mid range. You got a lot of punch on the highs and the lows. And you know, you got more width. It doesn't sound dull. It sounds like a bling bling chain. It sounds like a bling bling chain when it should look like a bling bling chain. But you know what I'm saying, you could definitely hear the difference between the unprocessed signal versus the processed signal through Ozone 10 Advanced. All right, folks, there you have it, man. Right there, man. Ozone 10 Advanced, and we're checking out some of their new features or whatnot, man. Hey, man, this has been your boy Super Mario, man. You have been in the man, checking out Ozone 10 Advanced, and there's new features and stuff like that, man. If you like what you like, man, go ahead and hit a like on this video and subscribe to our channel right here for more uploads and also our live stream recaps. Man, stay creative out there, man. Keep your head on the swivel. Until next time, man, this has been your boy Super Mario, man. We are out of here. Peace.